All right, so let's get into it. So in court, I want you to know that they're practicing magic. All right, so once again, we're reading out of my book, Words Are Spells and Curses, right? Somebody's been lying. Words Are Spells and Curses, available on Amazon right now. And part of the words being spells and curses are the words that they're using in a courtroom setting, right? So I want you to know that even within your language, there's other languages, right? So when you go to court, you think that they're talking to you in English, regular modern day English, but these people are speaking a language called legalese. And what legalese is this a language of the law, right? So when it comes to the language of the law, that means that these people could say things to you that on an everyday basis, you might think that they mean one thing, but in reality, they mean something completely different, right? So these words don't mean what you think they mean, right? And you'll say things like understand, and understand means to occupy a space below. Understand means to submit, right? So when these people ask you, do you understand? And you say yes, you're making a verbal contract with these people. And in that verbal contract, you agree to be beneath them. You agree to submit to their jurisdiction, right? And the reason why that's important to know is because jurisdiction explains the whole thing, right? Words are spells and curses. So what is jurisdiction, right? That should be the question. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. So jurisdiction, all right? Jurisdiction is a compound word made of two words, which is juris and diction. Juris is of right, and diction is choice of words. So jurisdiction together means the right choice of words. So when you don't know the right choice of words, that means you're under somebody's jurisdiction, all right? So if words are spells and curses, then that means everybody is practicing magic, right? And so in that case, you have a higher sorcerer and a lower sorcerer, people of lesser knowledge, right? And the people of lesser knowledge end up to be under the jurisdiction of those with more knowledge, those with a higher degree of sorcery, right? And one of the people who have the highest degree of sorcery is going to be a necromancer, right? So in the case of a courthouse, your necromancer is going to be your judge. All right, the judge is going to be your necromancer. Now let's get into it. What is a necromancer? From negromancy, right? Sorcerer, witchcraft, black magic, properly divination by communication with the dead, okay? Necros, a dead body, right? When you break down these words, you want to get into the pi root. You want to get into the roots of the words so that you truly know what you're using, right? From Niger, which is black, right? So now we see a divine connection. You see black connects with a dead body and connects with nigromancy, right? Which means the communication with the dead, right? So that goes into color, right? So the reason why they have you playing color games is because they don't want you to truly be who you are. Because if you truly are who you are, then you do not fall under their jurisdiction. That's one of the main signs, right? An appearance, semblance, or simulacrum, as distinguished from that which is real, right? So as soon as you go under a color code, I don't care if you call yourself white or black, they have us thinking that we're separate. But once you say you're white or black, you give up your nationality, you choose a color, then you become an appearance, semblance, or simulacrum as distinguished from that which is real. So they're telling you already, white and black is not a real thing, right? It's a prima facie or apparent right. What is prima facie? Based on the first appearance, right? Hence a deceptive appearance. So it's based on the first appearance, but it's deceptive because nobody's black and nobody's white, right? What color is my skin? Can anybody in the comments put what color my skin is? All right, a plausible assumed exterior, right? Assumed, concealing a lack of reality, a disguise or a pretext, right? So nobody put the color of my skin in the comments, so I'm assuming maybe nobody knows what color my skin is, but I'll let you know now. My skin is brown, right? So if my skin is brown, what would be the disguise? The disguise would be black. So I'm brown, but I've been disguised as a black person, but I'm not black, right? Because black is a color, but that color does not match what I look like. It's distinguished from that which is real. This is real. My color is distinguished from that, right? So, okay. And then that plays a part in appearance, because remember, it's all based on appearance, right? So you have different appearances. Remember, when you're dealing with the law, you're dealing with legalese. So you're dealing with words that have multiple meanings, right? Because we know appearance to be the noun appearance, right? Visible state or form, figure, mere show, right? To come into sight. But legally, appearance, it still means to come into sight, but you don't have to physically appear, right? Because you're not even alive, so you don't have to appear, right? But the magic is in how they're able to make you appear, right? So when it comes to a court, if you get in trouble, they send a summons to your house. And if we know anything about divination by communicating with the dead, right? What do? In all of your movies about magic and things of that nature, right? They summons the dead and then the dead appear, right? So the judge summons you, and then what do? You magically appear in a courtroom under the status of black or white, right? But you appear as a dead body into the courtroom. Okay? Can we all agree on that? Right? This is through etymology. This is through the law, right? So Weck's definitions team is based on Cornell law, right? They use Weck's definition team for their definitions, all right? So when we get to color of law, right? Because once you choose colors to be the representation of you, you also find yourself under color of law, right? And what is color of law? Color of law refers to the appearance of legal authority or an apparently legal right that may not exist. All right, so you're already dealing in imagination, right? The term is often used to describe the abuse of power under the guise of state authority, right? So under the guise, right? That means these things aren't real, right? And is therefore illegal. The term was used in the Civil Rights Act of 1871, where the color of law was synonymous with state action and referred to an official whose conduct was so closely associated with a state that the conduct was deemed to be the action of that state, right? So everything that was happening back in the day with the injustices to all the people on this landmass, right? It was so closely associated with the state that it might as well have been the actions of the state, right? So that means it was the people, right? The everyday people versus the government, right? The act grants citizens, right, the right to sue the government officials and their agents for using their power to violate civil rights, right? But civil rights is not anything that a person should ever want, right? Nobody fought for civil rights. You don't fight for this. This is given to you as opposed to what is truly yours, right? This is given to you as a form of control. So people think that the civil rights movement was fighting for civil rights, but it wasn't. That's the trickery behind it. Everybody involved in the civil rights movement was involved in the destruction of citizens, right? By giving you civil rights. Because what are civil rights? All right, based upon Britannica.com, right? Britannica, unlike other rights concepts such as human rights or natural rights, in which people acquire rights inherently, perhaps from God or nature, civil rights must be given and guaranteed by the power of the state. But now we know that the state is corrupt. So if the state that was corrupt is giving you these rights, doesn't that mean that these rights are also corrupt? Do you see how that works? This is not something you fight for. This is something that's given to you by the people who are conquering you, as opposed to the rights given to you by God. So instead of fighting for human rights or natural rights, you know, the rights that you were given inherently by God or nature, you think that people with the common sense were fighting for rights given to them by the state? No. Okay, that was the trick. That was a trick right there. We're reading from the book called Somebody's Been Lying, Words or Spells and Curses. It's available on Amazon right now. All right, so let's get back to color of law, because this is important. It's going to lead us to where we're going next. All right. Color of law refers to the appearance of legal authority or an apparently legal right that may not exist. Okay. Now look, this is the courtroom setup, right? So when you go to court, this is usually the courtroom setup that you see. This is an admiralty court, right? The only thing that would not exist in an admiralty court would be the jury, because admiralty courts do not require a jury. They only require a judge, right? So if any of you have ever gone to court for a civil case, right? Have you ever seen a jury? I don't know if any of you have ever been in trouble before, but if you go to court for civil cases, there's no jury. It's just you and the judge, your attorney, and the prosecution, right? So pretend this isn't here, okay? This, you know, because this is like federal court, but pretend this isn't here. All right, this doesn't exist. All right, so now we're gonna get to the true magic of it, right? So if any of you ever been into a courthouse, I want you to think about this area. This is where you sit while you await your trial to show up, right? So all the people that have been summoned are here, right? This is where all the people that were summoned this is where they sit and they await to be pulled up to here. This is where the defendant is. This is where the attorney is. This is where the prosecution is. All right. So you have the lectum, and then you have the courtroom deputy and reporter. Now watch. This is the beginning of the color of law right here. Okay. How is that the beginning? Let's go to a deputy. What is a deputy? Right? You see that? Deputy, subordinate officer, one given the full power of an officer without holding the office. Okay? Remember, what is color of law? The appearance, remember, appearance, it appears so, but it doesn't mean it's real, of legal authority or apparently legal right that may not exist. All right, so in reference to a deputy, it would be legal authority that may not exist, right? Legal authority that may not exist, right? Because a deputy is given the full power of an officer without holding the office, right? So that's like me going to a school and the person in the classroom is not a teacher, but they're acting like one. Right? How are you a teacher if you haven't done what you had to do to become a teacher? We're reading out of a book called Somebody's Been Lying, Words or Spells and Curses by Rashad Poet. It's available on Amazon right now as we speak. All right? Remember, it's a semblance. Okay? An appearance, but it's not real. Remember, it's as opposed to what is real, right? It's as distinguished from that which is real, right? So we know that power is not real, right? But it appears to be, because prima facie is based on first appearance. So that power appears to be real when in fact it's not, okay? So let's go back. Okay, so now you have your judge, you have your deputy. There's no true power here. But how does the power come into place? The word is acquiesce. So you acquiesce to these things, right? What does acquiesce mean? Acquiesce means even against your will, you accept something, right? So when you go into a courtroom, right, you're usually stressed, you're usually scared, you're usually in distress, right? When you go to a courtroom, you're usually in distress. And when you're in distress, you're accepting things that you wouldn't usually accept because you're scared, right? You're like, yo, if I try to fight, it might get worse. They'll tell you, if you want to defend yourself, these things could get worse. If you want to fight, it could get worse, right? So they have you scared to stand up for yourself because you're in fear that things could get worse for you if you defend yourself, right? Which is crazy. Acquiesce, right? To remain at rest, right? To rest, quiet, satisfaction, right? To yield or agree to, right? To be at rest. Silent consent, passive assent, right? To be satisfied. But the thing about these things is you're yielding to something, right? What are you yielding to? You're agreeing to be submissive, to submit, but you're submitting to people that are trying to do you harm, right? So acquiesce is not a good word, right? Acquiesce just means you're submitting. You're submitting to the people that are trying to conquer and dominate you. Do you get it? Right? And these kind of things are what turns you into a ward, right? You could be a ward of the state, a ward of the court. And if you're a ward of the court, then that means you're relying on the court to protect you. But how is the court going to protect you when the court is trying to punish you at the same time, right? All these things are proof of fraud. Okay? A ward of the court, right? A person or body of persons under the protection or tutelage of a government, right? The government's not going to protect you because remember, what they were already telling you is that these agents or government officials were trying to destroy you. So how are they going to be the destruction of you and the protection of you at the same time? All right? It's impossible. Okay, so we got that out the way. Now let's get into the details of what we're looking at, right? Because we're looking at a courtroom and they're playing tricks on you while you're in here. Okay, so now we know that the deputy has no true power, right? It's all color of law, authority that may not exist, but it only exists because you acquiesce to it. You submit to this power because you don't know any better, right? So you give up jurisdiction because jurisdiction is the right choice of words. So you give up your jurisdiction because these people speak in a language that you don't know. So your fear makes you acquiesce to their power that doesn't exist, right? So you in turn give them the power because you're the sovereign. You have full control, but you give it to them, right? And how do you give it to them? Through your attorney, who you think is on your side. But remember, your attorney is an agent of the court, right? So what is an attorney? Remember, you have to break these words down to get truly to what it is, right? And to an attorney, right? Now look, a turn, right? That's where attorney comes from. A turn, to turn over to another. So if you're the sovereign, if you have the full control, but you attorn or you have an attorney, that means you're turning over your full control to the agents of the government that are against you, but you don't know because you think your attorney is on your side. But why is it when your case is over, your attorney and the prosecutor laugh and joke and go eat lunch together? Why is it that they have conversations with each other in an office and you're not involved, and then your attorney comes back to talk to you to tell you the agreements that they made without you even being involved in it? And then they scare you by telling you, take this deal, right? Take this deal, because if not, then you're going to get 50 years. Take these 25 years, because if you don't, you're going to get 50 years, right? Then they make you acquiesce, submit to those agreements out of fear that if you don't accept that plea, then you're going to get 50 years, because they're working together to just control you, get whatever they can out of you, get money, because usually they don't, well, they know that they don't have jurisdiction over you, right? So all they're trying to do is get whatever they can from you fraudulently while you don't know any better. Okay, but it's all magic, and I'm going to show you how the magic is taking place. All right, so remember, attorney means to turn over, right? So now you're showing up as a color. So remember, that means that you're not even living, right? You're showing up as a corporation, right? A corporation, which is a corpse, right? So you're showing up as a corpse, not even living. So since you're not living, you have to turn over yourself to your attorney, who will operate on your behalf, because you don't exist, right? You're a dead body, right? And then you got the prosecutor, and then they meet here, right? They take your folder, they take their evidence, they take your folder with their evidence, and then they meet here at the lectum, right? Now, what is a lectum, you may say? All right, this is where you collect, you gather together, you assemble at a place, right? This is a lectum, right? This is a gathering place, right? So the gathering place, right? Lectum. This is the gathering place. Now, what happens at this gathering place, right? Remember, this is about magic. I don't care what y'all say. You know, you can think that it's a joke if you want to, but words are spells and curses, and these people are practicing magic, right? So now let's get back to this real quick. All right, just to make sure that we're on the same page, right? Because remember, you showed up as a color. Now you're under color of law, right? You're a color, something that's distinguished from that which is real. You showed up as a color, namely black, which Niger, black, which comes from necros, which is a dead body, right? And the judge is a necromancer, right? Who practices divination by communication with the dead, right? Okay? Are we all on the same page? You showed up as black, which is Niger, which is connected to necros, a dead body. So there's a dead body sitting right here. All these people who were summoned are all zombies, right? All these zombies were summoned, right? And that's why when the judge comes out, what does this person right here say? There's a person that sits right here. What do they say when the judge walks out? What does this person say? So nobody's been to court before? There we go. Fibonacci says, all rise, and then all these zombies rise from the dead. All rise from the dead, right? So that you could take place in this conjuration of spirits right here, okay? Now, remember, this is your attorney. This is your dead body. But they need your soul to be right here so that the judge can speak with you, so that the necromancer can deal with you. All right? Now, let's go back to attorney, right? A tool for drawing circles, right? Just so y'all know, a tool for drawing circles. All right? Okay? So remember, the lectum is the meeting place. The attorney is operating on your behalf because you're no longer living, right? So the attorney collects you, the evidence of your existence. They bring it to the lectum, which is what? Remember, the lectum is the gathering place, right? And then at that gathering place, they draw a circle, right? So when you summons the dead, right? What do you have to use when the dead are being summoned? What do they use? What do they use in all the movies? Salute, OG, Copper Empress. A circle, right? So they use a circle, which is known as a sigil, right? So now we know. And a turn is a tool for drawing circles. Circle, a sigil, right? So now, at the lectum, the meeting place, a circle is drawn. A sigil is drawn. But there's more to the sigil that has to be created, right? So now that they have this sigil drawn, right? This circle at the lectum meeting place, your spirit appears right here. Now the necromancer, who has divination by communicating with the dead, is able to communicate with you, your dead body, but it's your spirit. Because remember, your corpse is sitting right here, but they've risen your spirit right here at the meeting place. Okay, we all on the same page? All right. Now watch this. Hold on, let me grab a book. Oh shit, I almost forgot. Now watch this. Okay. So this right here is a sigil. All right. This is Solomon's sigil. All right, it was used to command spirits, right? Magical circle of Solomon, which he made that he might preserve himself therein, right, from the malice of evil spirits, right? But this is how he was getting spirits to come to life, right? Now, I want you all to sit here with me and watch this. Okay? So you have the lectum, the meeting place, with the return, the tool for drawing the circle, right? Put a 1 in the comments if we all on the same page about the circle. The lectum is where the attorney and the prosecution meet in the gathering to draw the circle, right? So now we have the circle, but we have to finish the divination to get your soul to show up, right? So now you see this triangle. Okay, so now you have the judge, right? So now you see the triangle, right? You see the top of the sigil, right? The triangle and then the circle. So now here comes your spirit. So now that your spirit is available, now the necromancer can talk to you, right? But remember, you've given your soul over to your attorney, right? Because what does a turn also mean? To turn over to another, right? So that's why you remain silent back there, because you're just a corpse, and you've turned over your soul to your attorney. So they meet up here, and your attorney speaks on the behalf of your soul or your corporation or your corpse, right? Okay. And then remember, can anybody tell me, if you've been to court before, can anybody tell me who sits here? Who stands here? The person that says all rise. Who is that person that stands right there? Here we go. All right, so everybody's saying it's a bailiff. Now watch this. It's the bailiff that stands there. All right. Okay. So we have the bailiff. It's a court officer, but it's known as a bailiff. The bailiff is a person that says all rise, and then that's when the zombies rise up from the dead, right? So that they can walk to this place where their corpse sits, but this is where your spirit and soul is, right? So who is a bailiff? Now this is based on a 1785 classical dictionary, right? Who is the bailiff, right? A body snatcher. Okay? The body snatchers. All right? So, the reason why that's important is because the bailiff has multiple operations. One, I don't know if you've ever been in this standing right here. So if you've ever been in defending yourself and you were found guilty, right? The bailiff comes around and snatches your body, and then they take you back here, and then usually right here there's an elevator that goes down, right? But if they send a summons and you don't appear, a bailiff enforcement agent may visit your home to snatch your body, right? To snatch your body and bring you here, right? So that they can deal with your soul and take you where they may have to, right? So now when it comes to the judge or the necromancer, they come from here, right? And this ramp takes them upwards, right? So if they're coming from here to this ramp that's taking them upwards, where were they coming from? Where is the judge coming from that he needs a ramp to take him up? Where is everything happening that if you get arrested, right? If the body snatcher grabs you, he takes you into this room to an elevator that takes you down, right? Now watch this. Okay, hold on. Watch this, y'all. Oh, for anybody that's just joining, we're reading from my book. It's titled Somebody's Been Lying, Words or Spells and Curses. It's available on Amazon right now. And we're going to go to my second source, which is my other book, Somebody's Been Lying, A Great American Deception, which is also available on Amazon right now. All right. So what we're talking about is, where is the judge coming from that he has to go up a ramp? He or she has to go up a ramp to get on the stand. And where and what's going on that the body snatcher comes and collects you and then takes you down somewhere, right? Now watch this. Hell, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. So this is about the law, right? The name formerly given to a place under the exchequer chamber where the king's debtors were confined. Under the exchequer's chamber, which is under the court, right? The rabbit hole is deep because Merriam-Webster online defines exchequer as exchequer, all right, a department or office of state in medieval England charged with the collection and management of royal revenue and judicial determination of all revenue causes, right? So this is hell. So the judge came from hell, and the body snatcher is taking you to where? Can anybody type that in the comments to where the body snatcher would be taking you, now that we know that it's under, right? Because you go down this elevator, they take you under the court, and then you probably exit from this way into the police van that takes you to prison, right? Right? Okay. Now, we're going to jump back into this book, right? Because what's the word that starts with a D? If you go to hell, what's that word? It starts with a D. They say you've been D'd to hell, right? What's that word? There we go. There we go, y'all. Okay, so I want you to remember, words are spells and curses, and words have multiple meanings. Now, damned, right? You've been damned to hell, right? Believed to be sentenced to punishment in a future state. Condemned. What? Judicially sentenced? Okay. So we know that hell is under the courthouse, right? And what happens in courthouses? You get judicially sentenced or damned. So if you're getting judicially sentenced in the courthouse and you're getting damned, right? And we know that hell is under here. That means when you go to court and you get judicially sentenced, you're being damned to hell, right? Right? And they have all these zombies sitting here, dead bodies, waiting to be sentenced, right? So now, watch this. Watch this, y'all. Isn't this Lady Justice? Now, who else has scales? Is it Anubis that has scales? Am I tripping? Who is it that has scales in Egyptology? Huh? Who has scales in Egyptology where they weigh your soul with the feather, and then based on that scale determines if you go to heaven or hell? So what's happening here? It's Mayat, the scales of Mayat, y'all. So what they do is they demonize everything. So Mayat, right, is now Lady Justice of the court system. And when her scales are weighed, just like with the heart and the feather, right, just like those scales, now that you have these scales at the courthouse, and depending on which way these scales go depends on if you go to heaven, which is home, or to hell. To heaven or to hell. Do y'all see how the righteousness can be copied, reassembled in a way to destroy you? Do y'all see how they do that? How do we avoid this? Now watch this. I'm gonna show you. Alright, so remember, for anybody that's just joining, we're reading out of my book, Somebody's Been Lying, Words or Spells and Curses, which is available on Amazon right now. Okay, this is what we're reading out of. Alright, so how do we beat these people? Alright, so remember, if words or spells and curses, remember, all they ever want to prove is that they have jurisdiction over you. Right? So if you have to believe me when I tell you that everybody is practicing magic, sorcery, witchcraft, the only thing that matters is what level are you on? Are you superior or inferior? Right? And if you're inferior, then that means somebody else has jurisdiction over you, because the words are the spells, the words are the magic, and whoever has the right choice of words, right? Because remember, juris is of right, diction is choice of words, right? Can y'all see that? Juris is of right, diction is choice of words. So whoever has the right choice of words, whoever knows how to speak better, is the person that's in control. And the reason why these people are in control of you, us, the majority of the people, is because we don't have the right choice of words. We don't even know that when we go into court, they're speaking a different language than what we speak on an everyday basis, right? So boom, the way to overcome this is to have the right choice of words, right? And I want y'all to know, before we go into jurisdiction, remember, color. So I don't care if you're in here and you think you're white. I don't care if you're in here and you think you're black, right? Because what is color? This is based on the Law Dictionary, right? Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition. Color, an apparent semblance or simulacrum as distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie or apparent right, hence a deceptive appearance, plausible assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality, a disguise, right? So for my white, so-called white friends in the crowd, they stole your nationality and they told you were white. For my so-called black people in the crowd, they stole your nationality and you think you're black, right? But neither one of these are real. So when you show up into court as either one of those, you're under color of law, something that doesn't exist. And this deputy right here operates in color of law. And you acquiesce to their power, and that puts them in complete control of you. Jurisdiction, because you don't know what you're talking about. That's why they tell you, your attorney, who you turn yourself over to, you give him your soul. He tells you, or she tells you, to be quiet. Don't say anything, because you don't know what you're talking about. You've already admitted that you don't have the right choice of words because you're here in the first place. So just shut up and let me handle this. All right? That's what your attorney says to you. Don't say a word because you are not competent. If you were, you would not be here. You want to know why? All right? Because look, this is what an appearance is. All right? A party enters an appearance when they show up to court in response to a service or of process, right? Appearance isn't only a reference to physical presence. So when these gurus tell you to sign these documents and send it into them, that's still an appearance, right? Physical presence in court when required, but also to procedural compliance. For example, filing an answer. If you respond to anything, you put yourself under their jurisdiction, right? Participating in discovery. If you become any part of any of that information, you put yourself under their jurisdiction. Typically, making an appearance means that you consent to the court's exercise of personal jurisdiction. You tell them that they have better spells than you and you don't know what to do, right? You guys got me. And you therefore waive your right to challenge it later. This type of appearance is known as a general appearance, right? So the reason you don't have to show up is because, remember, what are you? You're necros. You're a dead body. You don't have to show up because the judge is a necromancer, right? They practice divination by communication with the dead, right? All right. And they talked about discoveries. What is a discovery? Discovery is a betrayal. So as soon as you deal with a betrayal, remember, you're betraying yourself. You're betraying yourself. As soon as you deal with a discovery, you're betraying yourself, and most likely you're betraying anybody that you were involved with, right? Snitches get stitches, all those things, right? This divination is a master sorcerer, right? A conjurer of spirits. So you don't have to show up because you're dealing with master sorcery. You don't have to show up because they're going to conjure your spirit. And where are they going to conjure your spirit? At the lectum, right? Because what is an attorney? An attorney, remember, that's who you turn your soul over to, right? And that's a tool for drawing circles, right? It's a meeting place. What is a lectum? A lectum is a gathering together of people. It's an assembly, right? So they gather, the person who took possession of your soul, your attorney, and the prosecutor, who you think are working against each other, but they're really agents of the government, and everybody in here is against you, right? They collect your soul, right? So the bailiff, remember, the bailiff is a body snatcher. The bailiff collected your corpse to bring you here. The attorney collected your soul to bring you here, and then the attorney and the prosecutors, they meet here, right? And they draw that circle. Right? They draw that circle and then they conjure your spirit. So you don't have to be here because they're going to conjure your spirit right here, whether you like it or not. Right? So y'all were saying, how do we get out of it? Right? All right. Failure to appear after being served with will result in a default judgment against a party who failed to appear. Right? Now, this is the savior right here. If a party does not believe the court can exercise personal jurisdiction, right, over them, but does not want to risk the possibility of a default judgment nor the risk of losing an otherwise valid lack of personal jurisdiction defense, they can enter into A special appearance. Do y'all see that? A special appearance for exclusive purpose of determining jurisdiction. And these people don't have jurisdiction because they're operating in fraud. So they will never have jurisdiction. But I want y'all to remember one thing. This is for my black, so-called black people in the crowd. I know y'all take a lot of pride in this. You know, you love it. You know, I'm black and I'm proud and all those things, right? Whatever you're talking about, right? But I want you to see Negro, colored, African American refers to black races of Africa. And then the word black, all of these are synonymous. And all of these refer back to what? Niger, which is black, which refers back to what? Necros, dead body, right? So if you show up as any of these statuses, what do you show up to court as? All right? And that's the reason you have to deal with a necromancer, because they can communicate with, right? That's why you're DEAD in the eyes of the law, right? Because this is all based on etymology and law. Because all I've read from was etymology of words in the law dictionaries, right? That's all I read from. I'm not making none of this up because I think it is what it is. I'm telling you directly from the law, right? And then I'm showing you all of the wording, right? So we know that back here is hell under the exchequers chambers. That's hell. We know that the bailiff is the body snatcher that could either go to your home and snatch you or snatch you from right here, right? We know that when the judge comes out from the pits of hell, the chambers of hell, right? That's why they have to go up this ramp. The bailiff says what to the zombies that are there right now? You're underground. What does the bailiff say when the judge walks up? When the necromancer walks out? What does the judge say to all the zombies? All rise. Where are you rising from? You're rising from the dead, so that your zombie body can carry itself over here where they can collect your soul and then do divinations. All right. And I'm going to show y'all once more. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all the sigil once more. All right, so I want y'all to envision this, right? And I want y'all to hold on. Let me show y'all that once more. I'm gonna show y'all this because I don't want you to think that. I want you to see what it really means, right? So this is attorney, right? A turn, which means to turn over to another. So what you're doing, because remember, you show up as a corpse, right? But they need to deal with your soul, right? Because we have souls. And they need to deal with your soul, but you showed up as a corpse, a corporation, right? A corpse. So they need you to turn over your soul to somebody else so that they could deal with you, right? So you turn over your soul to your attorney, right? But an attorney is a tool for drawing circles, right? So remember, attorney is a tool for drawing circles. An electum is the gathering place, right? So the body snatcher, which is the bailiff, collects they tell you to come over here, right? All rise, the zombies get up. You zombie walk your body right here. You turn over your soul to your attorney. They collect you. They go right here with the prosecutor. They draw a circle, right? Because a turn means to draw a tool user draw a circle. What is a circle in magic? It's a sigil. Then your soul pops up, and now the necromancer, who's the judge that just came out the chambers of hell, right, can talk to you because you've acquiesced to color of law through the deputy, right? Because what is the deputy? An officer, right? Given the full power of an officer without holding office, right? So that means it's fake power. That means it's power that doesn't exist, right? And color of law is the appearance of authority that may not exist. So that's the color of law. So you've acquiesced to being under the color of law, right? Through your fear of the deputy and the necromancer, right? And you being a corpse and giving your body over, giving your soul over to your attorney. Now watch this. Remember, everybody, there's a circle right here, okay? This is a sigil. This is Solomon's sigil for bringing demons up, right? But controlling them, okay? Now watch this. Remember, we have a circle, right? So right here at the lectum, we have a circle, right? This is the lectum. Now there's a circle, right? The lectum, the circle. Hold on, I gotta block somebody. I just want everybody to know this has nothing to do with like hatred or anything like that. Anybody that wants freedom should be happy that this live is happening. I don't care who you are, what you look like. Because remember, color is a fool's game. Color is for children, not even children, because if I ask my son what color is my skin, he's gonna say brown. If I ask my son what color is CC's skin, he's gonna say, you know, like a pinkish color, right? Like more like this, you know, more like this than this, more like this than this, respectfully, right? Because come on now. But remember, color is distinguished from that which is real. All right, so now remember, the lectum is right here, right? What we have the deputy right here. We have another police officer right here to make sure you don't attack the judge. We have the bailiff right here to make sure you don't do nothing crazy. And then you have another police officer in the back that's watching over the zombies. Now, what does a police officer's badge look like? Have you ever seen a police officer's badge? All right, so boom. So now we have the circle. We have the circle. We have the lectum, the meeting area. We have all the sigil designs right here, which is the deputy, the bailiff, and then, you know, the other bailiff that's down here, all protecting the court, right? So that's all these are covered, right? So we have the lectum, the sheriffs, and the deputies, and the bailiffs, right? We have the circle now. And then we have the judge, right? And the triangle, right? The triangle. To complete the sigil. To get your soul to show up. Can we deny that truth? That's undeniable truth. Right? It's undeniable truth. How do you work around this? Special appearance. All right, so the main way to work around this is nationality, right? So y'all remember Brittany Griner when she got arrested, right, in another country, and the only reason that they couldn't do to her what they wanted to is because she needed to be released to the United States, right? So now if you build your own nation and you get in trouble with these people, what do you think they're gonna have to do? Instead of you going here and getting judged by these people who operate for Satan, they would have to release you to your nation. And you won't have to deal with them. Because they're operating in fraud and they're operating for Satan. And they've given you civil rights, which are opposed to natural rights, to God-given rights that you get inherently. So they took your God-given rights and gave you civil rights. Now they control you, and then they take everything from you so that you can't live on your own, because they need you to be a ward of the state, a ward of the court. You get it? And as long as you're a ward, they're in control of you. As long as you go by black and white, right? And you become nationalist, nationless, they can control you. So you have to build a nation. You have to separate yourself. I don't care how you feel about the Bible. It said, come out of her, my people, so you don't have to partake in her plagues. That's the only solution. And then until you get that done, all your appearances need to be special appearances where you argue jurisdiction, right? And you have to master the craft of these words, right? So that when you argue jurisdiction and you do end up dealing with these people, you have better wording than them. You know what you're saying and what you're talking about, right? And that's it, y'all. What we are doing today is we are talking about court. We are talking about the magic, spells, and curses that happen within the courtroom that have us all entrapped. I don't care what you look like. You know, if you still believe in color to this day, then you're the enemy of righteousness, right? Somebody's been lying. Words are spells and curses. Available on Amazon right now. Go get your copy. And then when we cross-referenced with my other book, which is Somebody's Been Lying, A Great American Deception. So both of these books are available on Amazon right now as we speak, right? Go get your copy today. All right? Let go of this color game because they're playing all of us, right? We need to get back to nationality. That's it. That's it. That's all. Peace and abundance, everyone. Stay safe. Wake up. All right? It's the night of the living dead. And I'm tired of walking around zombies. Ain't you?
Bitch, you thought it was gonna be like that. Hell yeah, you thought. Fuck you thought. You can't be like that. They only gave you hits, never fucks. And they made us black. Read these fucking books. Cause somebody lied to you.